Is the screen visible? Somebody please respond.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So today we are starting module 4. Okay. So we are starting module 4, and module 4, the syllabus goes like this. You have two portions in this particular syllabus. First part will talk about the files handling, reading, writing, file over internet, how to handle internet files. So various techniques of file handling we'll discuss, and second part we'll discuss about data structures, that is storing data using other collections like set data collection, tuples data collection, dictionary data collection, and various operations on these tuples, sets, and dictionaries we'll discuss in the second part of this particular module 4. So coming on to today's chapters, today we'll discuss about file handling. What are we going to do in this particular chapter? So we'll learn about different file formats, common ways to organize data, and how to read and write data using Python. And we also discuss, various operations on handling text files, on handling binary files. So binary files are those files that are not text files. So with the various other formats, like you have audio file, video file, we will have the PDF file, we will have CSV file, Excel file, even image file. Your JPG file is a binary file, and the text file are the files with the .txt or .data. So all the contents inside the text file are only text contents that we have. So I have already spoken about the various types of files. So many file formats are there, you also know. Python handles all those files. It will handle all the types of files. Python has a rich library to handle all these files. Whatever the file you name, it can easily handle. So that is one very good thing about Python. Moving on to how to handle first the opening of a file. Before actually you start processing any file, either it is a binary file or a text file, you should first open the file. For this, we have a function called open. Open has two parameters. One is file name, the name of the file. Maybe sometimes you give the path, entire path also. Okay, that is treated as name of the file only, entire path. So either you can give relative path or the absolute path along with the file name. Yeah, it is treated as file name. And mode. Mode is nothing but how you are going to handle this file. The same way in C++, same way in Java, the files, how we are opening and doing operations, same way. Read mode, append mode, write mode, and X mode. X mode will create a specific file, and if the file is already exists, it will throw an error. It will never overwrite. Okay, in read mode, it will open the file for read mode. Append mode, it will open the file for adding contents. Write mode, it will open the file for writing the file. In case the file is not available, file is not existing, then it will create a file. It will create a file. The difference between W mode and X mode is in W mode, new file is created if the file is not available. Whereas in the X mode, it will create an error. That is the difference. And to handle the text files, we should use a T. T is for a text file handling. B is for handling binary file. So binary files, I have already said, other than text files, everything is treated as binary file. Image file, PDF file, music file, audio file, anything, video file, everything is a binary file. The text content file is a text file. Okay, so T is used for text and B is for binary. So that is the thing. Now, how to open this file using a syntax? Okay, so here is the syntax, the file and mode. You have to specify. So as I have already said, file is actually the file name. Mode is actually the mode that we have discussed just now. That is read, write, append, execute, X mode, and so along with this, you can either write T and B. T indicates it is a text file. B indicates it's a binary file. So if you don't use anything, so by default, the file is open for read mode, and by default, it is open for text mode. Text file, read and text. Default, R and T are default. If you want to use it for a binary, R and B you have to give. So it is just like that. So you look at the example given here. F is equal to open demo file.txt. So in this case, I have not given the mode. Since I have not given the mode, the default mode is considered. What is default mode? Read mode and text mode. Read and text, RT. So it is same as RT. RT is treated as read and text. Suppose you want to read an image file. Okay, just open a file with the name and give RB, read binary. Okay, same way, I want to write a binary file. Yes, I want to create an image file. Take an image from the camera and write it into a file. Yeah, it is possible. You can write that, you can do that, and you can display. So you can store it and you can display. Take it from the camera and you can store. So that is also there. It is possible. And moving further, reading a file, a simple program. Look at here. Reading a file, we certainly use the file.read. Read is a method associated with the file cursor. So normally what happens when you create when you open a file pointer is created. So here you see abc.txt. abc.txt is nothing but this is the content. So what happens when you open the file in read mode? Of course, it is by default, if you don't give anything, it is read text mode. Yeah, R and T, text mode. What happens? The file cursor is created. The file cursor, we call it as, in some other textbooks, it is also called as file pointer. So it will be pointing to the first character. It will be pointing to the first character. When you say file.read, it reads the contents, all the contents. It reads all the contents until the end of the file. Until the end of the file, it reads the contents. All these contents are stored into a variable, into a string variable, into a string variable. It will store into a string variable. That string variable you are trying to print. You're trying to print it. So this is the code. This is the code to, so very simple, and file.close. Simple. Here, if you just say read, it will read the entire content into the variable. even though if it is image file, even though it is a binary file or audio file, video file, it reads the content and stores into a variable. So very efficiently it handles. So I'll show the demonstration little later. Okay. So or else let
Sir,
me.
I have a doubt.
Yeah, please ask. Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, is it mandatory to close the file?
Yeah, in this case, it is mandatory to close a file. If you don't close a file,
Sir, what?
yeah, what happens? What happens if you don't close a file?
Yes.
The file
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That
will
was my question.
will have a corrupted characters or what we call it as uh, it is just like if you are working in a multi-user environment. If you don't close a file, this file is automatically locked. So other person or other program, if they want to open this file, it cannot be opened for any other mode. Okay, because it is, unless you don't close a file, the file is treated as in use. So if somebody is using, other person may not be allowed to write the contents into it. So it is just like one person is using, and if he forgets to close the file, it continues to assume that it is in use. So which will create ambiguity in operating system file handling, operating system level file handling. So it is mandatory to close a file, and it is a good practice to close a file. Suppose another program simultaneously wants to write something into this file. Since this same file is being used by your program 1, and program 1 is not closed, that means it is still, even after executing, it is not closed. So what happens? It is still holding. So your PRG1 is still using it. And if your PRG2 wants to write some content, it gets a message from the operating system. This file cannot be opened for again in the write mode, because it is already in the usage. It is already in the usage. So it will create some problem. So that is the reason normally we have to close the file. Normally we have to close the file. This is mandatory. When you open the file in this way, when you open the file in this way, it is mandatory to close the file. Very, very important. Very, very important. Close the file. I'll come back. There are occasions where file cannot, you need not have to close a file. Okay. Your Python does implicitly, it closes. But when you open this file in this format, directly open the file name and mode. If you open this file in this format, you have to close it. You have to close it. So let me, take you to a small demonstration. I'll take you to a idle. Okay, here I'll create a text file. I create a new file. Okay, maybe I'll write first line, second line, third line. So what I do, I save it as .txt, abc.txt. I save it as abc.txt, abc.txt. I save it as abc.txt. So I save it. It is not a, it is all the files abc.txt. That's why I have written it as within double quotes. It is abc.txt. Look at here on the title also. Okay, I'll go to the shell. Now I say f is equal to, just like in this one, I'll write file is equal to f. open. Yeah. File is equal to open. So abc.txt. I will write initially, it is a read mode and it is a text file. Okay, done. File is read. Now, content C is equal to file.read. Okay, done. C, print C. So it will print the contents of the file. Then file.close. I had to close the file. So this is the same program that I have written here. Now, what happens here? When you open the file, so file will open and your a marker that keeps track of the current location of the file, you call it as file cursor, is assigned, and the cursor initially at the beginning of the file, and as you read or write, it moves. So you have to supply the mode, you have to supply the file name into the file open. So we have already discussed the same explanation. It has been given here. Now, the file can be opened in another way. In this way, you have a statement called with statement. In this statement, what happens? You will write with open file name mode as the variable. So variable is nothing but the file cursor. Okay. So look at here, the same. With open file example.txt, that is abc.txt in read mode as file. Contents is equal to file.read. So what happens? All the contents will be read. As soon as it is a block, you observe here it is a block. As soon as it's a block and you observe a colon at the end of this statement, colon. Okay. So it creates a block. And all the statements, whatever you're writing in this block, you have to write it with the indentation. And once you come out of this indentation, next line, you're writing print contents. So if you come out of this block, automatically the file which is opened will be automatically closed. It will close. It will close. Automatically it will close. File will automatically close. That is the advantage. See, because every call on function open should have a corresponding call to close. Python provides a with statement that automatically closes a file at the end of the block is reached. When a end block is the block is reached, automatically what happens? The file gets closed. So with the statement is beneficial in automatically closing a file that is being opened. The same program, you see, I'll write the same program with the open abc.txt. Here I don't give this one. The mode is automatically taken by default. I write it as file and I create a colon. As soon as I give colon here, so it is creating a block. It is creating a block. Right. It is creating a block. Yes. Now, what I do, I'll write here C is equal to file dot read. I read now only first line, around 10 characters. Read of 10. 10 means it reads only 10 characters. So look at here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That means only first line contents are read. And what I do, I come out of this and print C. It prints only 10 characters. It reads only 10 characters. Next. And it reads 10 characters and the file is closed. Now, if I say file dot read another 11 characters, it will throw an error. Look at here. It is throwing an error because it doesn't know what is file now. File is already closed. Using with block, you have already closed the file. As soon as you have come out of this block, automatically the file is closed. That means there is no object, file object. There is no file object. So, and if I say file dot read another next 11 characters, so it will say I don't know what is a file, or file operation is already closed. See, automatically it is closed. Observe, as soon as you come out of this block, automatically the file gets closed. This is the advantage. So whenever you want to automatically close the file content, so you can use with open. And probably you can write a program. Okay, you can write a program. Maybe you can write here with open. Certainly you can write ABC as file, and here file dot read of 10. I'm sorry, read of 10. So I'll store it in C. C is equal to, so this is C1, that is line 1, C1, content 1. So I can read C2 is equal to file dot read of 11 characters. C3 is equal to file dot read. Read means entire thing. After 10 plus 11, that is 21 characters, what are all rest characters are there, everything it will be read to C3, and you come out of it and you print C1, print C2, and print C3. So here 10 characters, here next 11 characters, and rest others. So, and as soon as you come out of this block, the file gets closed automatically. I'll say this as a file read dot py. Okay, and I run this. I go to this run. Okay, see, as soon as I run, okay, I'm sorry, abc.txt I should given. So open file, that is file read. Okay, I made a mistake. Okay, file read.py, just open. abc.txt I forgot, txt. Okay, I run this. Yes, save the file. Yeah, as soon as I run, you can see first line, then a new line character plus the next 10 characters. New line character is also included, so it is second lin, L-I-N, lin. And after that, if you say file dot read, it reads the rest of the things and it is displayed. And observe carefully, the new line character is also treated as a character. New line character is also treated as a character. Here, new line character is also treated as character. And every time you read the contents are displayed and stored into C1, C2, C3, and it is displayed. So this is, if you say read without any argument, So it will read the entire file content. If you give any argument, the number, it reads only that number of characters. Okay, so the same thing, you can see here, the same thing, file example.txt. Here it is reading only 10 characters and first 10 characters. The rest, another variable. Example file.read, it will read entire thing. You can read first 10 characters and you'll display the rest. So this is the way in which you can certainly do it. The same thing I can apply to this code also. So I'll apply to the same code. I just open the file read. Here, what I'll do, I'll say F10. F10 means first 10 characters. The rest. So the rest, what I'll do, I remove all these things. Okay, I remove all these things. Yeah, the rest, file.read. And you print first 10 characters, F10. And the rest, you can certainly write it rest. So like this. So here file close is not required because you are using with open. And when you run the file, so what happens? It will display the first line, okay, first 10 characters, and rest. Rest is nothing but the entire. So it is printing a new line character. It is printing a new line character. Okay, that is the 11th character. From the 11th character, new line character, it is reading and it is displaying. So like this, you can display. This is about read with arguments. So when you give read with arguments, you can read character by character. You can read, if you say read of one, what happens? It reads only one character. If you again read of one and once again, it will read a second character. Once again, you can put it in a loop so that it will read all the characters until the contents are there. You can do that also, character by character. Character by character, you can do it. Okay, the same thing. Let me demonstrate the same program. Okay. So I want to read character by character, all the characters. Okay. So I'll create a for loop for character I in file. I in file. I in file. I is a iterating variable. Okay. So file dot read. File dot read 1. So that means what it is doing? It is reading a character and I am storing in a variable called C. C is equal to. Every time what I do, I print this, print C. And at the end, you come out, print end of the program. Okay, right. So like this. So every time what it is doing, it is reading the content and displaying. And this will happen until you have characters in file. Until you have characters in file. Okay, there is. I save this, I run it. Okay, run. Yes, I save and run. So it is okay. S and T. Okay, I'm sorry. It is displaying the characters. So the same thing. I'm sorry. I can read one. Read one is nothing but it will read only single character. I can put it for I in sequence. Sorry, in length. Okay, for I directly I can print I also. Print I. I can also write print I. So when I say I, it will print the character I itself. So you can run it like this. So it is displaying first line, next new line character, second line, new line character, third line, new line character, end of the program. See, it is displaying all the contents of the file using for loop. Using this loop statement, it is doing. You can also print character by character like this. You can do back. So I want to read a file, abc.file, and in that, how many vowels are there? I want to just make a print. I want to just make a count. So for this, what I'll do, I'll say C is equal to 0 at count. Now, before printing I, what I'll do, okay, I'll just check if I is present inside AEIOU or AEIOU is present inside this. I'll give within double quotes since it is a string. So if it is present, then what do you do? C is equal to C plus 1. C plus 1. Yeah, C is equal to C plus 1. And you print. At the end, after all the loop of all the characters, what you can do? You can give number of vowels. Vowels are, you can display C. This counter, you can just display. So sorry, I'll just save this file, run. Yeah, run. So it is displaying. Okay, first it is displaying the values. First it is displaying this one number of vowels. Vowels, it has to display C. If I is present inside AEIOU, if I is in AEIOU, C is equal to C plus 1. Why it is not taking? Let us introspect. Okay, if it is present inside this, you can certainly display. 1 second. We can display the C value AEIOU if it is present inside. If I is in, okay. If I in this one, it is okay. It has to display. So it is anyhow. I'll check what is the problem with this. Okay. If okay, or else I'll create a character X. X is equal to I. If X in, 1 second. Sometimes if we do multiple references,